Hello, welcome back to the channel. So we have here patch 3.4.17 details, and we see a new Esper here already, but Dislyte haven't released the new video yet for the 3.4.17 patch. So we're gonna analyze this new Esper first, as usual, and we're gonna try her out in the PTR server. So let's go. We have Yukiona, a 5-star Win Esper. So we got a lot of lately we got a lot of new Win Esper. So that's a good thing. Like Win has been kind of like, I don't know. Like in terms of my favorite Esper, I don't really have that many favorite Win Esper, but nowadays they release quite a lot of good Win Espers. So I'm hoping this one is also good. Yukine is a support capable of enhancing allies' abilities when they inflict freeze. Ooh, this is nice. So, in terms of controller, like we now know about a speed team, an attack team, and then a counter attack meta, and then after that we have the defender meta, etc. etc. And in terms of controller. Petrification is supposed to be the strongest type of disable in this game, but it's been proven by Chehe and it's kind of like overpowered. Although Bitao not really that working right now, but they are trying to push into the freezing section, like the freezing disable. So we've seen Farah working quite well so far, and also paired up with Sloan. Although Sloan can just do her own thing, stand alone by herself, and then also paired up with a lot of other freezing Esper. So we now have the support freezing Esper. We will see her abilities, and we will try to guess and analyze how they gonna go with the flow right now. Like nowadays I cannot really see everything like back in old days, because they hide a lot of things from their the patch notes. So we have here ability 1 IC Beat. Deals damage to one enemy based on attack, has a chance of inflicting freeze. This is an okay start. Like basic ability, already inflicting freeze. Depending on the percentage chance of the freeze, you can try to give her Avatara, and whoever she counter attack, they gonna get frozen as long as they don't have immunity. This is quite okay to be given Avatara as a support, but the damage is based on attack, although she is a support. So I don't think this gonna deal that much damage. Okay, so let's go to the ability to silence Snowfall. Like always, like if you are a support expert, obviously you're gonna go more into the HP and defense stats, so you're not gonna have that much attack. And looking at the pattern of the recently new Esper, they kind of like going all out into reducing their attack into the possible minimum number they can have. We can see that from Bitao, from Nathaniel, from I think who was the latest newest again? I think Meta Yunchon also don't have that much attack, right? But he still have a higher attack than Nathaniel. So the second ability, Silent Snowfall, gains Blizzard warning at the start of combat. Ooh, we have a new golden buff. I don't know, but this is a warning. The start of combat, like is this a golden buff on Yukine herself? I think so. Each time an ally successfully inflicts freeze, grants them snow cloak. I don't know if this is a golden buff or this is a silver buff. We will see later in the PTR. Hopefully it's a golden buff. That means that this won't be removed by the enemy this spell. But if it is too OP, I hope this, to balance things out, this should be become silver buff. At the end of any unit's active turn, you can have Blizzard warning stacks -1. Ooh, this is a countdown. When all Blizzard warning stacks are removed, a Blizzard sweeps across the battlefield, dealing 2 damage to all units based on her maximum HP. Nice. So, ignore this attack. obviously the basic ability will never deal any damage at all because her stats will obviously gonna go all in towards her HP. And depending on the damage, you probably, I don't know, like this is dealing true damage to only based on her maximum HP. So because this is a true damage, you definitely won't be able to deal critical damage on this. And so you want to go like full invest into that bonus, HP bonus. You know, the damage is increased according to the number of times blizzards are triggered. So okay, so when all blizzard warning stacks are removed, blizzard, I don't know how do you get the blizzard warning stacks back to, I don't know, like imagine, like if we assume that you start at 10 stacks and then after it goes down to 0, how do you get this back to 10 stacks again? Maybe we will see it in the explanation of the blizzard warning buff in the PTR later. But obviously, if they have a way to reset this, then this is good. But if it is a one-time thing only, like after the stacks goes down to 0 and that's it, just like Nathaniel, like it's not gonna be really that good of a thing. And the damage is blizzard is triggered. But looking at this sentence, like I'm thinking like you can trigger the blizzards multiple times. So if the warning stacks starts from 10, like for example, I assume it's 10. I hope this only counts like 5 stacks. So it's gonna trigger a lot faster. So imagine if it starts at 5 stacks. Just imagine. 5 stacks go down to 0, trigger the blizzard, and then it goes back to 5 stacks, and then go down to 0 again, trigger another blizzard, so etc, it keeps on going. So the longer the fight goes on, the more blizzard you trigger, and the damage will keep on stacking higher and higher. This is good news because blizzard is a true damage based on her maximum HP. So hopefully this deals quite some damage, because this means that she can hopefully like destroy a defender type lineup, you know, in PvP. Obviously, this probably won't do that good. This won't do that good in a PvE type of content. But I don't know. Depending on how fast you can, reduce the blizzard warning stacks. Like you can trigger this at the end of any unit's active turn. That means that if you can have a speed team that hopefully move really fast, and also with all those AP up, as per like Feng Sun and then Abigail and then Eugene and a lot of other espers, that can push your AP up. It will increase the number of active turns you can have, and then keep triggering the blizzard warning stacks. I can see that I want to test her in Yinglong, right? The new Andras. Yeah, I want to see her in Yinglong because this deals true damage. So definitely deal quite a lot of damage to Yinglong. So hopefully this does something to him. But otherwise, there are not many instances in PvE content where you do need to deal true damage to the boss, So that's the only way you can make use of her in the PvE content, based on these patch notes, obviously. Like we don't know what the Blizzard Warning Golden buff gonna do. Like it probably gives her extra stats or something, we will never know until the PTR comes out. So let's go see the third ability, Silver Dream. But this definitely is really good in PvP. Obviously, like all controller esper are ever useful only in PvP content. Just like any other RPG games, like a controller type esper, obviously they are not gonna be able to control enemy bosses. Otherwise, it's gonna be so OP, if you can control enemy bosses in RPG games. So, controller espers, like characters that can inflict a lot of disables, are going to be really good in PvP content. So let's go to ability 3. Silver Dream enters a hibernation state. While in hibernation, a blizzard sweeps across the battlefield at the end of Yukine's active turn. So because this is the active turn, that is that you cannot trigger this using someone like Chu Yao or Liam, not gonna get triggered when you call Yukine for an assist attack. This will only ever gonna trigger if you use someone like Abigail or Eugene, someone who gives you bonus turn or gives you like 100% AP or at least just a little bit of AP like Feng Sun, which gonna trigger Yukine into getting more active turns. So this gonna trigger in that instances. When hibernation ends, deals damage to all enemies. Okay, so hibernation probably like a 2-turn things, and after hibernation ends, deals damage to all enemies with extra damage dealt to enemies with freeze, both based on maximum HP. This is great, and so we know for sure. Like this is very straightforward, very easy. Like just try to pair her up with other freezing Esper. You can pair her up with Sloan, you can pair her up with Farah. Like obviously it's gonna be much better if you can pair her up with Farah, because Farah can freeze with both her third ability and her second ability. So you have a lot of chances to freeze your enemies, and also each time an ally successfully inflicts freeze, grants them Snow Cloak. So Farah gonna have a lot of chances to get this. Although Sloan, like among all 5 of your enemies who you attack using your Sloan, there is a low chance that at least one of them, get a freezing. Like there's a very high chance that at least one of them will get frozen. So definitely it's very easy for an AoE freezing Esper to get Snow Cloak, but for a single target Esper who deal freezing, like who is that? Who is that skiing lady? Let me check. Who is that skiing lady? Odette, yes, Odette. Someone like Odette will have a chance to not get Snow Cloak because he only have one chance to freeze an enemies, and if the enemy have immunity, then that's it. And so when hibernation ends, deals damage to all enemies with extra damage. With freeze, both based on maximum HP. This ability's final damage increases with the number of hits she takes while having hibernation. So this is great. Like, obviously, you do want to make her as tanky as possible because you're gonna increase her maximum HP. So if you can get hit a lot of times while you are in hibernation, but that means that she needs to move first, use her third ability, and then let your enemies hit her. So this not really gonna work if you are not fast enough to inflict your damage, to cast your third ability first before your enemy make a move. Obviously, we've seen a lot of instances where a lot of new Espers require to cast their third ability first before they can receive damage from their enemies. So I'm expecting that in the resonance here, you're gonna get hibernation at the beginning of the battle. There it is, resonance 4. Yes, gets hibernation for 2 turns at the start of combat. Obviously, this is a must. Just like Mitao, just like Yuhime, just like Lu Shang, just like who is that? Sally, all those Esper require you to get the golden buff at the beginning of the battle if you do want to maximize their potential. So you do need hibernation first, and then let your enemy hit you. And then after that, you're gonna explode for a lot of damage, and obviously it's gonna deal even more damage if the enemy is frozen. But the thing is that I don't see any of her skill here that can freeze her enemy herself. She inflicts a lot of bonus damage when the enemy is frozen, but the only time she can inflict frozen to her enemy herself is only using her basic ability, and there is no way she can inflict this to all 5 enemies before she can explode, unless you get very lucky in your avatar, you know, avatar trigger and hit back all 5 enemies and then inflict freezing to all 5 of them with your basic ability. It's gonna be really hard. So obviously you do need to pair her up with at least one AoE freezing esper, preferably in a speed team, because you do want to freeze your enemies before they can even do anything. Like, it's useless if you freeze your enemies after they all throw all their third ability and second ability to your lineup. I mean, you will already gonna die if that happens. Yeah. So yeah, she relies a lot in her own lineup, but that's why she is a support. You know, like, you will definitely only gonna bring Yukine in a team where there is already Pharah or there is already Sloan inside. So let's go see her resonance. New effect, Silver Dream Hibernation now has damage mitigation effects. This is good, definitely need it, because you do need to survive while taking all those hits from your enemies, just like Donor, just like you know, Wuyo. Like Wuyo, she needs to get hit 10 times or 5 times, like among her and her allies, before she can even do anything. But that's why there is Momo, who can just kill her before she can even reach those 10 stacks or 5 stacks. You know, so there is no use for you taking damage if you die first. So this one, the damage mitigation effect is very much needed. The power spike from here is quite good. And then resonance 2, silent snowfall, morph 1 change, silent snowfall. When an ally attempts to inflict freeze, they gain snow cloak as well. So even if the enemy has immunity, you will still get your snow cloak by trying to inflict the freeze. So just by trying, you can already get the participation award. Yeah, so this is quite okay, but if you can, I mean, like, it's much better to try to hit your enemies with the freezing debuff as well. Especially when you bring Pharah. Like, Pharah has a built-in dispel, so obviously the enemy gonna get frozen, like most of the time, unless they are someone like Petro, someone like Moroyama, or someone like you know, Wuyo, that can just nullify any kind of debuff. But like I said, you know, among all 5 of your enemies, there is a very good chance that at least one of them will get frozen. So it is very hard not to get snow cloak if you use Pharah, you know. So this resonance 2 is not really needed, you know. So you can just stay nicely in your resonance 1. You don't really need to get Yukine to resonance 2, and then the next power spike gonna be on the resonance 4. If you can, if you're a pay-to-win players, try to get her to resonance 4 at the very least, because this is where her good stuff comes from. You know, gaining the hibernation for 2 turns at the start of combat, and meaning with the damage mitigation effects here, you can put Yukine in a defender team, in a defensive defender team, you know. And if you bring all that with her ice armor, you can just take all those hits, but that will require Odette to move first, you know, cast her second ability, which gonna take a lot of time because she's gonna cast her third ability first before she casts her ice armor. But with her ice armor, when the enemy hits you, they have a chance to get frozen. Like that shoots very well into the idea of defending team, but because it takes too long, it's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be practical. So still, like, if you try to put her in the defender lineup, it's not gonna be that useful, because to make her work, you do need Pharah or Sloan. I think Pharah can still work. Like, Pharah have a built-in damage mitigation effect. And also, she cannot be inflicted by AP down, so obviously she gonna move. And also, if you inflict her with AP down, she gonna get AP up instead. So she definitely gonna move and freeze her enemies. So you can probably make that work. Like a defender team with Farah and Yukine inside. So I can already see like Wuyo, Chehe, Yukine, Farah, and probably Sakura. There's kind of like maybe something that can work, but still, like comparing to the current defender meta, like Chehe, Wuyo, Yamato, Sakura, Lian kind of lineup, you know, it's much better to just go full defender team instead of trying to make freezing work. But it is an option. So this is your go-to resonance if you do want to build Yuki network. And then Resonance 6 Silent Snowfall Morph 2 change Silent Snowfall, increase the number of Snowcloak stacks gained each time. So I'm guessing that Snowcloak will have some kind of stats increase because the stacks will be important. Like, you know, each time an ally successfully inflicts freeze against them Snowcloak. So that means that now it changes everything. Like I thought Snowcloak is like a one type of buff, kind of like just one stack only. So at least just by having one enemy get frozen, you can already get Snowcloak. But apparently there is a stack. So that means that you want to freeze at like, you know, as many enemies as possible using your Sloan and your Farah. So that means that this one, the Resonance 2 will be important. So I take it back, like the Resonance 2 is quite alright, like depending on what the Snowcloak do, you know, we will only gonna know this in the PTR testing, but that means that if the Snowcloak buff increase their damage by a lot, that means that you do want to get as many stacks as possible. You can try to trick this, like Farah with a built-in Dispel. She can already get the maximum number of Snowcloak by herself, the maximum amount of stacks. But if you do want to use someone like Sloan, you do want to pair her up with someone like Chuyao, who can remove the enemy's immunity first before your Sloan freeze all 5 of your enemies and get like 5 stacks of Snowcloak. So I'm guessing that the Resonance 6 will give you 2 stacks of Snowcloak for every enemy you freeze. You know? So that will increase your damage by a lot. We will see later in the video what Snowcloak do. So she plays around with buffing Farah and Sloan. And probably, who is that other guy? Wait, let me see. Who is the other freezing Esper? There's also another good combo, like Aurelius. Yes, Aurelius. So if you do want to play around with Aurelius, like I've already made a video of him like a very long time ago. Pairing him up in a freezing lineup, like in a controller freezing lineup, and he actually deals quite good damage. You know, so if you are a new player, if you are like, you know, just a free-to-play players, you probably do want to make Aurelius work, but that is such an investment in Rival Rune. So it's just for fun if you do want to try him out, but I can see that this will increase his damage by a lot, you know, although not as much as Sloan, but it is an option. Like if you don't have Sloan, like if you miss your chance to get her, then your very best bet is Aurelius. But if you in need of making Aurelius to work, by all means just skip Yukine entirely. You know, like if you don't have Sloan, if you don't have Farah, like what's the use of you getting Yukine by herself, you know? So you do need to have Farah or Sloan to make this work, definitely. So yeah, this is Yukine. Can you obtain from Snowy Serenade Pass after this update? Wait a second, she is not gonna be in the Golden Echo? Is she gonna be another Sujue and Sloan? Nice. She's gonna be in the from the event. So that means that she's gonna be really strong. I'm hoping a ton of buff from the blizzard warning and the snow cloak. We will see in the VTR because obviously like Esper that comes out from event have like above average kind of stats or abilities, so we will see if she gonna be that good, just like Sujue, Sloan, Momo, Wenlock, Meta, Lily. Although Meta Yunjuan doesn't really be that good, but he does his job really well in the first 10 turns, like that's the whole purpose of having Meta Yunchuan, like protect your team in the first 10 turns before you make your move. So he does his job really well, but afterwards if you go into a long battle, he becomes pretty much quite useless, although I still sometimes lose to a Meta Yunchuan in a long battle just because he is annoying, not because he is good, but he is annoying, being there just to soak up your damage if your AI mess it up and make your Momo or your Petros deal damage to Meta Yunchuan instead of the more important Esper beside him. Yeah, that happens a lot. But we will see because this is a special event. So I'm hoping this gonna turns out becoming as good as someone like Sujue or Sloan. So we have new feature here for the Crucible. Simulated training, blah blah, simulated stays, training points, blah blah blah. Unlock for Yukine. Yes, this is the way for you to Yukine, I guess. And then there's Snowy Nightmares, Team Snow, Loyalty Chest. Yeah, this is the story. And then New Echo, Farah, Ethan, Eugene, Shana, Yuhime, and Genie. So they give you Farah in the first phase because they know you cannot make Yukine work without Farah. So if you do get your Yukine, like at the very least get one copy of your Farah. I don't know, we will see. If I see that Yukine is quite good, like not really good, but quite good, I might think about getting Yukine. But if she turns out really good, I definitely gonna need to put to pull Farah in here using my wisdom. So Eugene is also something that you can combo with Yukine. Like you said, like you've seen just now, she needs to get a lot of active turn, like whether it is from your any units or by Yukine's active turn herself. So Eugene is the best Esper to do that. Not a lot of players invest their points into Eugene, but if you do give Eugene a Billimon and you pull Eugene, like you must pull Eugene, like a lot of people skip Eugene, but if you actually pull Eugene and give her a Billimon, she is really good. Like I've tried her a lot in PvP, like if you've seen my recent video, like I've used her with Moroyama, I've used her with Mingsuo, I've used her with Momo, I've used her a lot of times because if you give her high speed, she can be really insane in giving you bonus turn and AP up. Because to make her work, you definitely need to bring Lushan, and because Eugene is a support Esper, her abilities cooldown get reduced. So her third ability will be cast every 2 turns. 2 or 3 turns. Like Eugene only need to use her, like after she use her third ability, she gonna use her basic ability, and after that she can already use her third ability again, or maybe one more basic ability. But because she moves really fast, she doesn't need any other stats except for speed, so she can bring your main DPS into attacking very often. So I've been using her a lot in PvE content, in PvP content. She actually turns out really good and really insane in giving you bonus turn. So definitely a really good Esper, and pair her up with Yukine. you're gonna maximize Yukine's abilities into giving all those active turns that she needed. And then Sienna also someone who can gives you speed up permanently. So definitely another option there. And then Yuhime Izanami Yuhime and Genie, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, I don't think there's any combo you can use for Yukine. So this is just an extra. If you don't have Yuhime or Genie already, then this is your chance into getting her. Although Genie is not really that popular nowadays, but she is still a very good option. Like my how to say my favorite combo, like using Chuyao and Momo to wreak havoc in the PvP. Yeah, my Momo dies against Genie because she doesn't deal critical damage, so there is no use for my Spirit Aegis on Momo. Like, her attack literally shred my Momo. The same thing happens. The same thing apply for Nora. I lose to Genie and Nora, but because there are not many players who use them, so I'm still alright. So let's go see Frozen Crucible, Boom Special Kingdom, Heron Box, blah blah blah. And introduce a new item, Reset Astra Coin, which is now available for purchase in the plaza. Using that item on an Esper resets all their development data, excluding ability levels to default. All abilities used for development, such as Divinate, Soulmetric Stones. Wait, what you can reset the Soulmetric Stones? Soulmetric Stone, is it the Divinate? Yeah, this is the level Divinate. Oh yeah. So you can reset the Divinate and Soulmetric Stone. Although you don't really need to save up on this, spending more time on Divine Waves and Esper material will be refunded. Yeah, for newer player, this can be really good because you do have limited amount of materials to use for all of your Espers. But for veteran players, like, the only thing that you want to reset is actually this one, the ability ones. The rest, we already have a lot of surplus of materials in our inventory. So yeah, this is a really good balance. How to say, addition, a balanced item addition, because it helps a lot for newer player, but it doesn't benefit at all to the old players. So this is good to keep the balance from the newer player to be able to catch up against the older players. Now, when there is a defendant already in the default state, this item cannot be used. Okay, so you do need to resonance. Why do you need resonance? I don't think you can reset resonance, right? Why do you even need to reset resonance? I don't know, but definitely the divinate. I think this only applies when you have the divinate. I think, why do you need to reset the resonance? So, we got the selection last week. Visual improve weather. Okay, so that's it for patch 3.4.17 details, guys. So that is Yukine. Yukine not really look that OP from just the text itself here, but I'm hoping the Blizzard warning, the golden buff of the snow cloak, and then also the percentage number of all her skills, and based on she being an event Esper, I hope that her skill set gonna be above average. So we will analyze this further in the PTR testing. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the PTR testing. Bye bye.